So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, where now it's time to put a sweet ending to what's been a very insightful bake-along. Yes, you heard it right. We've been baking side by side with our guest chef, Chef Francois. Now it's time to make delicious cinnamon rolls with figs.
Fantastic. I mean, just look at it. Butter everywhere. Sugar, cinnamon, nuts. It's amazing.
It works.
It is.
Yes.
Now, Dumi, I know you also have a sweet tooth. You love yourself these sweet treats.
Yeah, Palestine, this is for me. Like, we were having fun with you at the beginning of the show. Now it's my time to shine. I'm all about that sweet stuff, you know.
Okay.
We've got figs, we've got our Clover Classic Custard that we're going to put in there. This is for me.
Okay, so where do we get started?
Before we get started, Chef wants to just show us and the viewers what happened with that active yeast.
Yes, so you can see basically it's like forming like jelly but becoming a sponge.
So this is essentially that starter dough that
Yes.
you took us through. And
Perfect.
now Chef is just showing us how now the active yeast has already started to rise within that starter dough, creating that incredibly almost custardy jelly-like consistency, sponge-like consistency.
Yes, and that creates all the lovely air inside and elasticness of the brioche.
Delicious. It's smelling amazing in the kitchen, so let's get cooking. Or baking. Let's get baking.
Perfect. So with cinnamon rolls, we're going to basically take it out.
Okay.
Like so. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So with brioche, you don't really need a lot of oil or flour.
Okay.
Because there's butter inside it, really doesn't stick to anything, you know. I mean, brioche buns, there's so many to do with brioche. It's so lovely.
Yeah.
You're so used to this already, Chef. Yours is a rectangle, and I'm like, show me how you did it again.
Yes, so you can just basically turn it around. Lovely.
Yeah?
Do not look at my
Yes, like
shape.
that.
Okay.
So now we're gonna, you can use a rolling pin or you can use your hands to basically just stretch it out.
Okay.
So are you gonna use a rolling pin?
Yeah, I'm going to try mine.
Maybe I might need it because, I mean, you're used to this. So.
A rolling pin on
used to
mine.
You just wanna roll it out
Okay.
to about like 1 to 2 centimeters is fine. You get so many varieties of cinnamon buns, longer with more rolls
Yeah.
in, or shorter and thicker.
Okay.
Doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Stunning. So now we've played with our dough, we have stretched it out. It seems to be the right consistency and the thickness that we want.
Yes.
And then how do we start adding these decadent ingredients into the mix?
So basically, there's so many different ways to do it, but you can start off just putting oil on the surface of your brioche. You can use butter, because there's so much butter in the dough. It's not really...
You don't have to add the oil.
But if you like very naughty, you can. Perfect. Your oil is spread all over.
Yeah.
Then your second most important is your sugar.
Okay.
Can be any types of sugar, from brown to white or to caramelized sugar as well.
Delicious.
It's up to you.
Now, Chef, I've seen a lot of people when making cinnamon rolls, funny enough, they call them cinnamon rolls, but the cinnamon is never in the actual dough. It's just the filling.
That's correct, yeah. So you will see the lovely pattern it makes as well. It's just, and it's not overpowering.
Yeah. It also adds just that visual treat when it comes to looking at it. The swirls and the spirals always look so nice when you see that cinnamon infused in there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So yes, your sugar.
Okay, and the oil is basically to help the sugar and the
Perfect.
fillings to stick as well.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Perfect.
So once you have your sugar layered over the brioche.
So you're doing that to put the sugar, sort of like to help it stick, or to
Yes.
get it into the dough itself?
To get it in and to help it stick as well. And then after that, you can actually then start getting into your cinnamon.
Okay. And then, Chef, I know that you've got a signature fig cinnamon roll
Yes.
at your bakery. And so I've decided to put a bit of my extra flavor here because I'm going to be, well, in essence, replicating your cinnamon roll with figs.
Perfect.
And we're going to be putting our Clover Classic Custard in there. Is that, I mean, with adding, flavors into this stuff, is there a technique? Is there something to consider? Because some things are considered heavy, so it sinks to the bottom. Is there something to always consider, or can you be creative as well.
You can be creative. I mean, we're going to take the Clover Classic and basically just drizzle it before we roll it. Instead of, we're also going to drill it afterwards just to make it more exciting, but we basically just going to go all out today.
So Chef, let's start putting it all together quite quickly and quite easily, because that's what this recipe is all about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What other ingredients do we have in front of us? I see some nuts, I see some, is that white chocolate and some cocoa?
Perfect. So if you want to, you can use your cocoa powder just to drizzle, just to give that nuttiness, more nuttiness of the chocolate. So you can just pour it over.
Okay.
And then for the icing sugar, we can leave for dusting later.
Okay.
Perfect. Now we're going on to our figs. So you can basically take your figs and just place them on the first side there.
Thank you.
Oh, just on the one side.
It's totally up to you, but I prefer on the first side, like so.
Okay.
I mean, it's fig season, so
Rather use fresh.
if you make it in winter, preserved figs are also perfectly fine.
Nice.
Perfect. And then you're going to take a little bit of nuts, and also that just creates texture.
Okay.
Added that crunch.
Salted nuts, normal nuts, it's all perfectly fine.
Okay.
Okay, start rolling. You want to basically just first tuck it in.
Okay. Can I go in with my custard?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
I'm gonna add some chocolate. Oh, I see. Mine is. Oh, I've got options here. I'm loving the fact that I also have some white chocolate that I can add, just to add a variation and variety here.
Fantastic.
And then I'm gonna start rolling.
Perfect.
Would you like some as well?
I'm going to definitely use this.
And another thing, Chef, because this is such a luxurious recipe, I like the fact that we're using Clover Classic Custard Ballet. It is a source of vitamins A, B2, and D. So it's a pleasure that you won't actually feel bad about, because, I mean, you've got all the goodness in there. So you're adding more custard, Chef. Haibo. Am I the only one that didn't get this memo?
Why not add that decadence? Now, mine is already just spilling over, spewing over, but I am not fighting that, because the more decadent, the better. As we have said, we've been creating savory dishes from the top of the show. So now it's time for all of those with a bit of a sweet tooth. So now that I've rolled out my my dough, mine is definitely a chunky monkey.
Same here.
Then how do we put the
fine.
finishing touches to it, Chef?
So basically, it's going to be intact like so. And then you're going to basically get a knife and you're going to just portion it. And then until you get your portion size, no worries at all. I've got my...
Your handy dandy knife.
Thanks so much. Perfect. And this is totally up to you. You can go thin, long.
Stunning. Simple, easy peasy. I mean, Mzansi, I have to definitely give a round of applause to Chef Francois, because he's helped us through all things bread here in the kitchen today. Whether you're making something sweet or something savory, this one is for you. But we have added the incredible creaminess of Clover Classic Custard here, and I'm just loving it all. And in case you've missed any of the steps as to how to whip up these delicious cinnamon rolls with figs, catch this recap.
Made with love by Clover.
Dumi, you've done such an incredible job on those recaps. But Chef, just in case we've missed it, how long do we have to keep the cinnamon rolls within our oven for, and at what temperature?
Temperature 200 degrees is perfectly fine. And then also 12 to 15 minutes.
Love that. Now we're going to be enjoying our incredible bready treats after the break around the table. Now, Dumi, thank you so much for showing us all of this. What most are you looking forward to enjoying?
I'm looking most forward to the cinnamon rolls, Palisa. You know me and my sweet tooth, Mos. I want the sugar.
Coming up, we have an incredible chat with Chef Francois.